Well, we will get started with We Fixed It. We've got 2 recipes to explore. I haven't even looked at them, but Lisa told me there were only 2. Don't forget, with our We Fixed It, you make it work by sending in those recipes. It probably gets a little bit challenging to find recipes that's not already in the recipe library because there's thousands of them. Got 3 now. Lisa said we've got 3 now. There's thousands of recipes, and there's probably 10 for every casserole, but sometimes y'all find some new ones or some for us to look at. Even if they're not new, it's good to bring them because we can learn the program through learning swaps. So if you're new, do we have anybody new in the We Fixed It group? We've been doing this for 4 or 5 months now, every Saturday. We said we'd do it 3 Saturdays a month. We've missed 1 Saturday in like 4 or 5 months. So do we have any new folks? It's your first We Fixed It. Hey, Pam. This is a really good educational piece, I think, because you learn, you're learning fundamentals, really. Learning why the program is set up the way it is. So when you're going through Fast Track, you kind of have to have a little bit of faith. If you're not familiar with food combining and insulin control through food combining, I will stand beside anyone, anywhere, and shout from the rooftop that food combining for weight management is more effective than any pharmaceutical, anything else that you can do, because it helps control insulin. Those people that are aware of supplements that work and have efficacy, then you just have an advantage. But combining foods properly is the way to go. And when you're learning Fast Track, we don't get to break all that down so much, and it's a new concept to many. But something like this, you have some aha moments. So we're going to keep up with these as long as we got some recipes to look at. We've only got 3 today, so we will spend the rest of the time answering questions or looking at the food calculator. We'll look at that too. It scares me when we start talking math, though, because typically people get that messed up, or I teach it wrong, or whatever. Interpretations vary. I really believe in that there's safety in counsel. So when we all look at it in the group, odds are we're going to get it right more than we get it wrong. But when you let each individual do their own calculations, it gets kind of hairy. And then what happens is somebody trusts you that's in the program and asks, can I have this? And you go, yeah, that works. I run it through the calculator. But, it's that kind of stuff that kind of takes away from what we're trying to accomplish, the lifestyle. But we do it anyway. We do it anyway because people want to know. But welcome. I've delayed long enough, so we'll get started with We Fixed It. What we're trying to accomplish with every eating episode, we're trying to avoid slow digesting fats with fast digesting carbohydrate. Everything we put in our mouth, if we've got a goal of weight management, weight loss, then we have to avoid slow digesting fats with fast digesting carbohydrate. The carbohydrate provokes the insulin activity. The faster the carbohydrate breaks down, the more insulin response. And then if you got slow digesting fats, animal fats, vegetable oils, things of this nature, you're going to have a high likelihood that you store that fat. Fat's already in the form of fat. So when you're looking at your macros, protein, the body almost can't take protein and transmute it into fat. It's almost impossible. That's why we tease in class and say, you never look in the mirror and say, I got to back away from the egg whites. It's not happening. But then you've got carbohydrate, which if you overconsume, they can translate into fat and be stored as fat. They also provoke an insulin response. Then you have fat. It's already in the form of fat. It's the easiest to be stored as fat because it is fat. So we look at when we consume fats, can we replace those slow digesting fats with fast digesting fats so that they don't get stored? So these are the top things that the program looks at and why the program's effective. The more calories you consume at one time, the more ratio of protein and fiber you need to carbohydrate. Now, if you're new, relatively new, we've simplified all that for you. This is more a session. You've been trusting. Now you want to know why. Why does it work? This helps with those reasons. So you understanding this is definitely going to help you make better eating decisions based upon your goals. So I'm going to pull up that PowerPoint, the one we got here. Bear with me. And two, I'm just going to do this real quick so that my mind will get in gear, and maybe your mind needs to too. I'm feeling a little off. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you thankful, Lord, for this day, thankful for life, thankful for existence. Father, help us to lay our cares, our troubles at the door and just enjoy one another for a little while in learning about food, delicious foods, and thinking about and meditating on just how good we all have it. We have shelter, we have clothing, we have one another. And we just thank you for that, God. Thank you for all the good things that are honorable and lovely. Help us to meditate and think and pray on these things so that we can stay in this beautiful, joyful moment. There's always going to be trouble on every hand, but we don't have to focus on that. There's grace for every season that we're going to go through as long as we live in that present moment with you. Help us to do that with this class today, God. And if any good things accomplished from it, we'll bow our heads and give you the praise for it because we have the victory in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. So Kathy Austin has sent in beef stew. Boy, we're getting to that kind of weather soon too, where some beef stew would be good. Now, can beef stew ever be holiday worthy? Yeah, it can. If you use the wrong ingredients, that beef stew, it can turn into something that might taste nurturing, but it can be fat storing. So let's see what she's come up with. All right, ingredients, we got 2 pounds of beef, stew beef. Looking at, I agree, Terry, absolutely. Looking at the beef, what category do we want to default to with this beef?
Lean cuts.
What kind? Oh,
Lean. Lean.
What if we don't know, if we're in doubt, what category would we?
Oh, 4.
Yeah. So protein plus fat. And when we start a recipe with a protein plus fat, what are we looking out for now that we know there's a likelihood of fat here? What do we got to be cautious about seeing in this recipe?
Starches and carbs.
Yeah, yeah. Starches and carbs, unless they're slow digesting. Onion's not going to be a problem. Celery is a category 2, is not a problem. Garlic's not a problem. Good for the heart, too. Good for cholesterol. 2 peeled and chopped potatoes. And it's 2. This probably serves 4, I'm guessing. And we got 2 whole potatoes. Do I keep going forward or do I need to find a replacement?
Find the replacement.
Got to find a replacement. And Candy jumps in there and says radishes. That works from a nutritional standpoint. Is everybody okay with adding some radishes there? Great potato replacement. So we're gonna do that. If we want potatoes, we're gonna change it out with radishes. Then we got carrots. Not too worried about carrots. Oh, Penny comes up with butternut squash. You could use butternut squash. That's a great sweet potato replacement. It would be tasty in this. So we've got either radishes or butternut squash. Carrots, I'm not worried about. Tomato sauce, I'm not very worried about. Green peas, another carb. It's getting kind of carby. Says a small can. So if this is 4 servings and we're using a 3-ounce can, that's usually what the small cans come in, 3.5 ounces. All that fiber and protein in the pea, I think we're okay. A little concerned, but I think we're okay, especially if we trade out the potatoes. It's getting kind of carby though. You know, I said don't worry about the carrots, don't worry about the onion, but when we keep adding carbs in, we got to start being a little concerned. You've got seasoning, Worcestershire, fat-free beef broth, and ghee butter. This is a pretty dense caloric meal here. I would try to do it without the ghee. I can't imagine it altering the taste that much by leaving that butter fat out. Ladies that cook a lot, am I wrong? I think Mom's in the class and Penny's in the class. Am I wrong? I don't think with a stew, that blend of flavors, that we necessarily need that ghee. Am I incorrect?
No, you're not.
Let's leave out the ghee.
My guess is you need a little bit of fat to braise the meat with, but that's it.
To braise the meat with. Especially if it's very lean, which I'm less concerned if we know we have a very lean, but that's all subjective, what people call lean beef. I would probably, to be safe, leave it out. If we needed to pre-cook the beef, again, I'm not the cook that some of y'all are. I would be doing that in MCT oil. MCT oil is 100% medium chain, whereas ghee's maybe 30 to 40%, if that. Does that make sense? But otherwise, I think we've done a good job here. Penny says avoid the carrots and the potatoes with the butternut squash. That's an idea too. So we've got 2 pounds of the leanest beef we can get. We're going to call it a 4 to be safe. Onion, celery's great. Garlic's great. We're changing the potatoes to radishes or butternut squash. We could even consider ditching the carrots and using butternut squash, but we can use the carrots. Tomato sauce, a very small can, 3.5 ounces or less of green peas, beef seasoning, Worcestershire, and then if we have to have a fat, no ghee, MCT. Then I think we're safe with this recipe. I would call this a 0 on the weight loss meter to be safe, somewhere between a 0 to a -1. And I would have a 1.5 cups up to 2 cups as a meal. Now, I can see me eating this like this, a cup or less with riced cauliflower. I could see me doing that with this. Does that all sound good? Or miracle rice. I'd back down on the portion and I'd have the back down portion with rice cauliflower. That's going to really keep the calories a lot lower, or the miracle rice. Candy asked, could we use jicama? You could use jicama. Jicama is a category 2. For those of you unfamiliar with jicama, if you prepare it right, it makes a great replacement for a French fry. So it's a great potato replacement. Penny says you could swap the peas for green beans. I would keep peas, but Penny's right from a weight management standpoint. I just don't like green beans. I ate so many when I started the program 20 years ago. But green beans would be better for weight loss. So we could put peas or green beans. Then we're getting a better weight loss meter, or broccoli. Got some folks that prefer the green beans. Then y'all just made this a good solid -1. Because there's, when I start seeing more than 2 or 3 carbohydrate, our weight loss meter goes up, which means down. Does that all make sense? Are we all in agreement that we found proper swaps? What are y'all thinking about that? Now we don't have a fat bus worth worrying about and no fat worth worrying about other than the beef fat. And it's going to be it's going to be not good that it's slow digesting, but we're definitely not going to get very much insulin activity here. London broil cut, if we did London broil, you may want to make the case that you improve the recipe. But otherwise, it looks good. So you could say stew beef, top round, London broil. I'm still counting it as a 4, just to be safe. Does that all make sense? It's basically a 4+2 with a lot of condiments in it, if we look at it by the serving. And I would definitely eat this over some riced cauliflower. All right. Kathy has submitted another one. I'm liking this one better for my taste buds, the way they've been lately. Looks leaner already. Let's see if it is. Chicken cabbage and mushroom soup. I'm liking these soups. I love to eat soup when it gets cool weather. I eat it in the summer too. Mom makes that hobo soup, hobo stew. I love it. Hamburger stew. All right. 3 chicken breasts, no problem. Category 1. Cabbage, category 2. Mushrooms, category 2. Green beans, category 2. Onion, fat-free chicken broth, MCT, carrots, celery, cauliflower, garlic. It's perfect. This is the perfect soup recipe. This is perfection. -2. Nothing wrong with this. As is. Put it in the library. It's ready to rock. Up to 2 cups of it would be a meal, or you could have 1 cup or less and then have a lean protein on the side or a fibrous carbohydrate on the side. Does all of that make sense? I can even see me not putting chicken in it and just having the soup part with a piece of grilled chicken breast on the side. I can even see doing that with this, but definitely can add the chicken. I'm going to try this one. That's something I believe I could pull off. Any questions on this simple one? Looks great. Great for fat loss if we control our portion. And those of you who want to take pictures, just remind me to slow down. I know it takes us a few days to get it in the library. We do have a dynamic library at I Am Faithfully Fit. There's recipes added almost every day. These will be added, but if you want to get to it before we get it added, you can take pictures. This name is chicken cabbage and mushroom soup. I like to eat a real brothy soup. I can see me playing with this, taking, other than the broth, taking everything out of it, like doing half measures just so it's real brothy, and doing it with cabbage and mushrooms and carrots and green beans if I have to use green beans. But it looks good to me. -2 on the weight loss meter, as is, Miss Lisa. Good one. Good stuff. Oh, you knew Deborah would come through for us with something difficult before we get out of here. I love it. Skinny muffin crab cakes. Speaking my language. 8 ounces of lump crab meat, drained and picked over for shells. What category is that? We don't see many shellfish recipes come through here. My favorite food. You could use bone broth, Penny. You'd be increasing the calories, but they're good quality calories in that other recipe. Yep, Cat 7. We use Cat 7 just like a 1. The only reason we segregate shellfish from chicken breast and turkey breast and pork tenderloin, a lot of people have religious aversions to eating it, or just have allergies related to it. So we just move them out so people don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. They can throw a whole category out if they don't want shellfish. Category 7's my favorite. So 8 ounces of lump crab meat, we're good to go. You might want to lean into naturally the imitation crab. Please don't. We do approve imitation crab, but what is it full of that is not good for weight management?
Starch.
Yeah, it's full of starch. Publix used to have one that wasn't very starchy. It was called like Kimchi or something like that. Kimchi brand, not kimchi, but Kimchi or something like that. Kamini. They don't carry it anymore. I don't know what happened to that one. The others are a little higher starch. You can have them, but it's best. It's kind of like a 1+3. Imitation crab is like a 1+3 together. This is calling for real crab, which I like, red bell pepper, green onion, Greek plain yogurt, panko breadcrumbs. It's only a 1/4 cup, and I'm thinking that sets the recipe off. Normally, I'm ditching the breadcrumbs. You would certainly be better to use almond flour or an approved bread and dry it out and make breadcrumbs of one of our category 2 breads. But I'm thinking those breadcrumbs might set this off. Since I've got crab meat that's going to slow digestion and it's only a 1/4 cup for all of these, I'm not too worried about it. Are y'all with me on that? If I run it through Harmony, which is our assistant inside the website, I am certain that this recipe is going to end up being more protein than carbohydrate. Are y'all with me? Make sure we're on the same page. Because normally I'd want y'all to get rid of that. But do you see that for serving probably four servings, it's only a 1/4 cup. I mean, it's just to set it off a little bit. Then you got 1 large egg. That's a 4. Now we've put a 4. So I gotta be a little more careful, but it's still just 1 egg for the whole recipe. Dijon mustard, Old Bay, garlic, paprika, and using cooking spray. You weren't hard on me at all today, Deborah. This one was already done. Thank you. So I'm not really changing anything here. I think it's good to go. I would have the serving, depending on your tins. I would have a serving that fit under one hand, and then I would have a fibrous carb. So most likely your muffin tin, you're going to be able to have 2 of these crab muffins with a side item. I might even have me a piece Mom made last night, some delicious broiled fish. I might have 2 of these on one side of my plate and some broiled fish on the other side. No carbs at all outside of what's in the recipe. Or I might have 2 of these and have me a little side salad with approved salad dressing. Watch the salad dressing. I'm noticing people are using high-calorie salad dressings. Please be careful with that. Try to go with 0 calorie on your condiments, especially for salads. Salads are not low calorie unless you're just eating lettuce and bell peppers, and they're not low calorie. That's a myth. So, but I can see having 2 of these with a side salad, or 2 of these with some broiled fish or some shrimp. Make sure you always use that portion plate until you've made the mental adjustments with your portions. Any questions, comments about this one? Good job, Deborah. I see 2 on here that I may try next week after I get through with the egg challenge. Everybody got their photos. That's it. That's all we had submitted today. We'll go look at the weight loss calculator next, depending on the number of questions. Did you learn anything? Hey, Cindy, I see your hand up there, sis. Jump in anytime.
Hey, oh, hold on. I just turned the wrong knob on the jewelry piece. Let's see. Is anyone having a hard time finding fat-free soup besides me? Of course, I'm up here in Dalton and y'all are in lots of other areas, but does it matter if it's a neighborhood Walmart, a big Walmart, a Kroger? We don't have fat-free soup up here. I don't know. I haven't taken the time to look in recipes yet to see if maybe someone's already come up with. I know there's some, I can't think of that lady's name, but she was forever ago, like back in 2012. Can't remember their names. So she may have something in there. I just need to look. But if y'all aren't finding it and y'all have a fat-free, like cream of chicken, cream of mushroom recipe, I'd love to have it.
Awesome. Y'all help a girl out if y'all know. Have you tried running a stew or soup and clicking the fat-free filter?
No, I haven't looked. I haven't. I mean, it is absolutely like all of a sudden I'm like, why can't I find this anywhere? You know, and it was just like, I gotta start looking at this because it's going to be about that time of the year to make some things that I use those products in.
Absolutely. Now, you're not looking for fat-free broth. You're looking for like a fat-free soup, right?
Like a cream of chicken or a cream of mushroom.
Let's see what I can find in here.
Like I said, and I don't care to make it, you know, that's fine too.
My filters are gone. Huh.
So Cindy, I have found when I was looking for like cream of mushroom or cream of chicken that Campbell's especially has changed a lot of their labels, so it's hard to identify. But I know at Kroger, I think they still have one labeled like 98% fat free.
Okay. Well, I'll check again, and it may be that I have to end up just getting somebody that's over in that area, you know, to either order some in or whatever, but I'll look at Kroger again. Thank you.
Yeah, last time I was at Publix looking at like the Campbell's, it's like I couldn't identify it, and I ended up going to Kroger, and I think they still have theirs labeled pretty easily.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Uh-huh.
We got a couple people still want me to go back, so y'all bear with me and get to pictures. Let's see. They want to get pictures. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna go through this, let y'all get your pictures real quick, screenshot. So beef stew, there's your ingredients. There's your instructions. chicken cabbage soup coming up. Ingredients. Instructions.
Travis, while you're showing the pictures, I was just going to say you were talking about wanting soups. And of course, I love soups. I've got a recipe. I'll have to try to find it in all my plethora of recipes I have saved on my Facebook folder. But I follow a girl who does called Clean Crush, I think it is, a lot of clean eating. And she's got a lot of great recipes. And there's one that she has, it's like a fat burning chicken turmeric soup. And I made it one time before and it was absolutely delicious. So I'll have to try to find that and share it on the page.
Awesome. Yeah, Amazon may have them. True. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon. Everybody good? Got what you need there?
Travis,
Uh-huh. Hey, Leona.
there is a recipe for a vegan cream of mushroom soup,
Mm,
and it uses 24 ounces of baby bella mushrooms and 3 tablespoons of olive oil, but you could use the MCT oil,
yep.
tablespoon of sea salt, a fourth of or a half teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of minced garlic, and 3 cups of soy milk or plain almond milk, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, and a fourth a cup of cornstarch.
Yep. That would work. Yep. For sure.
Hey,
Very,
Cindy, I just sent you some pictures. I don't know if your Walmart may just be different than mine, but I looked at the nutrition information on the Great Value brand even. They're condensed. They have like a cream of celery and I think there's another like cream of mushroom that just happened to be out of stock, but it has the similar nutrition profile to the Campbell's, and mine had the Campbell's in the big can, but not in the small can. But it didn't, and it was the cream of mushroom, I think. But I shot you the pictures that I found.
Okay, great. Thank you.
you got a lot
It
of
needs
help.
to be that I order something in, let Walmart ship it to me instead of just picking it up. That's a good idea. And of course, I hadn't even thought about looking on Amazon. So yay. Yay. I'm so glad y'all helped me think.
Awesome. Collective wisdom. All right. So if you have, before we go today, if you have any personal questions, you can click you need something personalized, something you've been wondering, you can click the Q&A button if you don't want your name called, or you can ask in the thread. Meanwhile, I'm going to take you to, this comes up, things tend to come up seasonally here. They come, thought ideas, they come, they go. And people are more than ever right now, not more than ever, but like they do from time to time, wanting formulas. I've already stated why I'm not crazy. Yes, Kiara, I'll come back to you. Why I'm not crazy about teaching formulas, because we're trying to have a lifestyle where everybody's on the same page, and the food library keeps us safe. And there's so much in the food library that's the first place to check. And I know that us in the groups, we notice that sometimes people will ask in the group, actually takes longer to get an answer, and the item was already in the food library. But if it's not, sometimes people want to know, can it be put in the food library? Can it get added? If you're not getting the answer quick enough for your liking, you can use the same food calculator that my team has used for years to approve things. Now, it's strict. It's more strict than we actually use to vet out items that are close. But it keeps people safe if they input the information correctly in the calculator. One of the things that we're going to do, and hopefully it'll get some traction, is in this latest book. We've got all of the food formulas in there. So that should help people have an understanding of the food formulas taught in the right way on paper and not just my word to your heart, so that we'll have less ability to misinterpret. But the food formulas are really centric to this program because they're what controls insulin. The more calories we have, the more ratio of protein and fiber we need, and the type of ingredients matter too. That's why sometimes it'll say, the calculator will say, this isn't approved. And then I'll be asked to relook at it and I'll say, I can approve it. It's usually going to be a weight loss meter of like 0. By the way, the crab, Lisa, the crab muffins are a -1. So we'll look at that, assuming we have the time and nobody has very many questions, but happy to answer questions. I'd actually rather do that. I always try to escape showing the formulas. Kiara, you had a question about journaling?
Hey, I did. I know that when everything transitioned over to Faithfully Fit, like all of our stuff moved over. But if I journal on the Shibboleth page, it doesn't populate to Faithfully Fit, right?
So currently, no.
Okay.
Because when we did that, we looking at financials and everything else, we felt Shibboleth was going away. Since then, of course, we listened to the people, lots of people, and we've got it up. And one of the problems that has created for us now, it's not problems. One of the things we've been working on a solution for is people are considering coming to Faithfully Fit, but they don't want to leave their updated journal behind. So Sergey said he's within about a week to having it where it can sync together. So what that means is if you're journaling on Shibboleth and you're a Faithfully Fit member, you can hit a sync button and it sync over.
Okay.
Now it's not ready, but we tested it yesterday and there was only 1 or 2 things that didn't sync properly. But what that also allows is for people who want to come on later to Faithfully Fit, they won't lose any data. He migrated everything over at once and it was such a task. He said, never again. But, it's like having a baby. Once you get over the pain of it, you're a little more willing to work on it again. So he's working on that.
Okay, because I hate to jinx it, but I am one of the few that my app still works. So I've still been able to do stuff in my app, and it does still populates to the Shibboleth page.
Yeah.
So that's what I was just curious about, because I went to the since I've upgraded to Champion, I want to be able to start getting my earning my belts and all that kind of stuff. So I was just trying to decide where I want to keep journaling, if I want to go over there and put, start doing it on the Faithfully Fit page, or try to keep doing it on Shibboleth. And I think I was supposed to get a badge back this week, and I don't know which one to put it on to try to get my badge. So it's just one of those, I think I may just start putting it on the Faithfully Fit page, everything.
Yeah.
But it was just, the app is so convenient because I've just used it for so long, and by some grace of God, mine still works.
Yeah, that app, we hope one day we can get back to it. It's an expense of anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000 a month. So, are you familiar with short linking the pages of the website to your phone?
No.
Okay, so here's how I use an app. Let me take
Okay.
background. I don't have I'm using Faithfully Fit because I want to earn the badges there, right?
Right.
So I'm going to take off this background so I can show you a little better. So you'll notice those little S's up at the top?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So when I click that, I'm not signed in, so I got to sign in to show you how easy it is. Every page on the website, you can kind of turn it into a little app. So there it
Okay.
is. Now I'm going to click journal, and notice it went right to my journal.
Okay. Okay.
So the way to do that, you go with Safari browser or Android browser, whatever,
Right.
go to the page that you want to kind of turn into an app. Then on Android or iPhone, you've got this little button down here. I click that, and then it says add to reading list, et cetera, add to home screen.
Okay.
Click add to home screen, and then I can name it whatever I want to name it and add it, and then you have an app.
Okay.
So that's how
Yeah,
I
that'll
do,
be a whole lot easier.
yeah, that's how I do like the progressive exercise system. People say, well, it just takes forever. It doesn't. I link it to my phone, hit it, do my push-ups, done. So
Well, and I was even thinking the food because I that's one of the things I use a lot in my app is the food library or the eating out options. Like if we're out in town, I'll pull up that page, the restaurant options. So I could just go ahead and make a link for all of those and like you said, name them and be able to go right to them.
yep,
Okay. That'll be good.
that's what I've been doing for a long time. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean I did the $10 over there just because I think that is honestly, I personally believe it's ridiculous. If anybody doesn't want to do it, I think that's so dumb. But that's just my personal opinion, and I can say it because I'm not you, and they can get mad at me if they want to.
Well,
But for $10, I mean, good gosh, you could find that much change in your couch probably, and people still want to gripe. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to continue it and keep it going because there may be somebody that comes along that's not able to, go right to Faithfully Fit, and they want to be able to have access. And so, but still want to, I believe in this so much, both sides of it. So I want to, I just think that it's
no,
worth supporting.
yeah, I appreciate it. It's probably been one of the best, most nurturing things that's ever happened to me, because if I had said it's $200 and I had gotten the emails that I've gotten, I probably would have took it so hard. But because it's $10 and some of the hate and anger that I've gotten, I'm like, they can't really mean that because it's just $10. So it's really
I wish you would just forward those to me. Just forward those to me. Let that be my little job and my contribution. Just forward those little emails to me.
my
Please.
my people that I let see them get so tore up about it. Like, yeah, it's blown me away. I now know what a waitress what she feels like when she's trying to serve people on a Sunday after church and they get mad at her, So
Yeah, and then tip her $1 on a
yeah,
$75 bill. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, well, I had somebody one time, we were at a restaurant in Cedartown after church, a deacon of the church, and I said, "You gonna leave a tip?" And he said, yeah. And he put a quarter on the table, and I said, "A quarter? Why would you leave 25 cents?" He said, "Well, if I don't leave anything, she'll think I forgot. I want her to know what I think she's worth." And I'll never forget that. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
Wow.
It's just people. I've
Oh, I'm
probably
telling you, my daughter, is a server and has been a server for a long time. She said, "Mom, I hate it, but church folks are the worst." She said they come in after church on Sunday. She said they are the worst.
meaner than junkyard dog.
I know when I worked as a server for years, we would all argue about who had to work Sunday shifts. And that was one of the biggest things. And it was always sad to me because that was something, it really, for a lot of people maybe that aren't in church, puts a really kind of bad idea, you know? So I know we used to all say, "Oh no, no, I don't want to work the Sunday. I'll give you Sunday. I'll take Saturday and Friday night." You know,
Yeah, I
it's
think the
crazy.
thing that people miss that scripture in the Bible that says, "When you've done it to the least of my children, you've done it unto me." So that man leaving that quarter, he may as well just laid it in front of Jesus
Yeah.
and see what he thinks about it. You know.
It's been a fun year, and it's taught me compassion and empathy instead of made me mad. So I hate that I let anybody down, but it is what it is. And um, I'm glad that people are beginning to reconnect, and some of the upsetness is fading, and you know, God's the one ordering this. That's why every time I tell y'all what I'm gonna do, it changes a week later, because I don't know. I'd be better to come up here and say, I don't know. God is literally running the show. So uh, I'm proud of where we're at, how far He's brought us, and all the support that we're getting. I'm learning to focus on the beautiful support.
Travis, change subject here, and this may be in the library, and I haven't looked, but I just picked it up last night. So I thought, since we're asking questions and it is a class, I'm sure you've seen this new liquid IV hydration multiplier stuff. And because I had so many headaches, and I thought, well, my daughter-in-law said that really worked for her one time. So I thought, well, wouldn't hurt me to try it. I got the sugar-free option, which actually had allulose in it, which I was happy to see. If Have you looked at those? Are they approved, or how would you use them?
Yeah, I did look at them. I can't remember the calories per serving.
20
They're
calories,
Yeah,
but it had 5 carbs. I was like, oh wow.
it's fine.
Okay.
Don't do two of them at once,
Okay.
and you can have up to 2 servings in a day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, now when I turned over the first box, I didn't realize there was a sugar-free option and another one. I was like, oh goodness, there was, quite a few calories.
Yeah.
But I use the allulose in my coffee, and it's the only substitute I've found that I actually can handle the taste of. So
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out about allulose. I like it best. I think I like it better than monk fruit from a taste standpoint. But if I have too much of it, I experience a lot of cramping. I could evolve in that change once my body gets used to it. But there's a lot of good stuff coming out about that. I do want to make another remark about the liquid IVs, that you're bringing it back to my memory. Those listening, you got to be careful about being brand specific. Just because it says liquid IV brand doesn't mean it's going to work. She just clarified that. You want the sugar-free one. So thanks for clarifying.
yes, thanks. Yeah, I was gonna say too, on that monk fruit, I have the liquid monk fruit and I have the allulose granule, and I do prefer that granule allulose as well, or that brand, that type of sugar substitute.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Brother Will, he's here too. And by the way, Brother Will, y'all, if you weren't in promotions yesterday, he's our first purple promotion. He's awesome. But he brought some allulose to the house. I really like allulose. Monk fruit, allulose. Anybody else? Questions, comments, anything? We're going to skip the calculator because that's a good 30-minute lesson. We'll pull that out of the arsenal when we need some content next week. And you can turn that into an app too. It's pretty cool. Any questions or comments? Anyone? We have a Rise and Rebuild going on. We have a robust class schedule for Faithfully Fit next week. As well, we have 2 fun sub-challenges, the egg one and the soup one. Last woman or man standing wins the prize. We also will, as I promised, we will have a recap of that great journal challenge we did. Mom, Karen, and Vicky are going to launch a new challenge as soon as Rise and Rebuild's over, and that's when we'll harken back to the last journal challenge that was so popular, recognize, and then start the new rule set for the rest of the year.
I haven't seen anything about the egg and soup challenge. I know I've missed a lot this week. It's been bananas around here. Are there, is it in one of the classes I can go back and look at?
It is. And Geraldine worked on it for me, but Lisa's probably familiar. She can grab the link to the notes if she knows where it's at
Oh, that would be awesome.
and post it in here. Shirley's asking, were there rewards? We did record that session. I don't know if it's in there yet. We had 5 promotions yesterday. Several people got promoted to green. Brother Will got promoted to purple. He's one away from black belt. So, and that wasn't all of them. We just run out of time. We've got about 40 promotions over before the end of the year to give out. So, anyone else? Questions, comments? What are promotions? So we're more interested in outcomes at Faithfully Fit than we are just getting started all the time. Outcomes are very important to me now, and I think you do that around building community and deconstructing how we think. So promotion's really a humbling process. And you start at white, that's beginner. And then when you fulfill certain subjective and objective criteria, the entire group celebrates your progress to yellow. Then a new set of objectives and subjective criteria, the group celebrates. So belonging celebrates you going to green, then purple, and then finally black. Then after black, every year that you continue the objective criteria, you get a stripe on the black. So some way for those interested in stuff like that, a belonging, a feeling of accountability and support. That's what promotions are. Anybody else? Questions, comments?
Is there anywhere that has the criteria for the different belts?
There is. Lisa can get that to you, Miss Leona. Shirley, will actually let me work on that and send it out next week. I'm going to update the Faithfully Fit handbook with that criteria soon. We just have limited resources and man hours. With that said, there's some stringent objective criteria that follows suit with the theme of Faithfully Fit: faith, nutrition, exercise, and supplementation. Just because one doesn't fulfill the objective criteria doesn't mean they can't get a promotion. For example, exercise, you have to keep accumulating steps as you go, but you may be in a place physically where one can't get that number of steps. So then we look at, are they excelling in other areas beyond the objective criteria? So don't get too hung up on having, because it's stringent, every one of those, because if you're getting close to it, we look at the other areas and see if you're surpassing and make a decision based upon your service, your engagement with the community, etc. So I'll try to get that out to you. The girls have got it, but it probably needs some massaging because we're learning as we go too the right way to do this to make it meaningful. I tend to start really hard and then start looking at life factors and then massaging it a little bit. But we still want it to be a challenge. Like Brother Will, I'm picking on him because he's a brother. But he got his purple. He excelled in every area but one, and that was a journal. And that's the most important objective criteria. but he so excelled in all the other areas, he could not be denied. If Brother Will had been journaling, he would have got his black yesterday. So I'm gonna hold his feet to the fire. Maybe one day he'll journal. But I love you, Will. I can give you a hard time. These ladies will lynch me. But yeah, just to give you an example. But he so excelled in every other area, he forced my hand.
Travis,
Uh-huh.
I asked you that question about the collagen,
Mm-hmm.
and what makes that collagen better? Because my stepson and his buddies down, and they're like, "Why is this collagen this pinky color?" And
Yeah.
so I was like, "It's the best. It's the best." Travis says it's the best, so.
Yeah, it's by far the best in my humble opinion. What makes it the pinkish color you had asked was the anastaxin. It's an antioxidant found in algae, and it's where salmon and shrimp get their opaque color. You shouldn't be, if people say they taste it, I can't, but it's probably how I mix it. But what really makes that go is the absorption of it. That's grass-fed bovine, category 1, category 3, and it's a particular set of amino acids that the sequence of them mimic a lot of these shots actually, that causes your body not only to absorb more collagen found in your product, but to create more collagen. So you actually will produce more collagen. And I think that's why it's the best. Plus, just anecdotally, what people say and my own experience with the product. I'm like the bionic man. I have so many injuries, and I have felt a marked decrease in the inflammation in the joints that I have problems with.
Honestly, like I used to have really bad arthritis in my hands. They would just hurt all. I don't really feel that anymore.
Yeah, it could be. We don't want to say
I
for
mean, I don't know if that's why, but I have noticed that.
yeah. Yeah, when we decrease sugar and starch and processed foods, hydrate properly, get more exercise, consume collagen, that's some great ways to reduce those flare-ups. Anybody else? Everybody happy? If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. How's it go, Terry? Help me out. Let's get in the present moment.
Can you hear me?
I can. Do it
If,
for me.
if you're happy and you know it, then your life will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
I love it. Anybody else? Good singing voice.
Travis, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know we talked the other day about acute inflammation and chronic inflammation, and acute coming from an injury.
Yes.
Will that increase your weight at all if you have an
Yes.
injury that creates inflammation?
Yes. When you have an injury, you have micro fissures and tears in the infected area, and they fill up with water for protection. That's
Okay.
the layman, that's the Hugh Harley way of giving you some smart stuff.
Okay. All right. Because as you know, I'm addicted to my scales and I weigh every day. I mean, I don't let it, get me down, but I weigh every day. And I've been following the Rise and Rebuild perfectly all week. And then, of course, as you saw, I broke my foot this week. And then this morning I got on the scales and it's like my scales were almost back to where they were when I started on Monday. And I'm like, well, what the heck? And I started thinking, I wonder if that's all because of my foot injury.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. You just had a significant acute injury. So you're going to have some, and plus you don't have a ton of weight to lose. So, whatever ounces of fat you're losing is easily offset and masked by some temporary water fluctuations.
Okay,
Yeah.
that helps. All right, thanks.
There's so many things. When the closer you get to goal, you're literally losing ounces, if ounces of fat. And so you're following the program and you're losing it, but then you got to deal with high tide, low tide, So that's how I think about it is it's high tide, low tide. The water and the glucose gonna come and go. I've just got to keep being consistent. And the closer I get to go, I'm still losing fat that takes up quite a bit of space. But from a scale standpoint, it's coming off so, it's ounces. So it's
Right.
just stay in the course, calorie deficit, insulin control.
Okay, thanks.
You got it. Anybody else? Like last night, I had at mom's, she was so gracious to feed me some crab legs she got and some broiled fish. And the broiled fish was outstanding, but it was salty. So I got up this morning. That's all I ate yesterday. And I got up this morning, I was up 4 pounds. So what was that? That was water. The residue of the food still within me. And then you're talking about the water retention from the increase in sodium. So half a gallon of water spread over a 6'3" frame, you don't get to see your results, but I can look in the mirror and see them. It's just stay in the course, y'all.
That happens to me anytime, like, even if I eat Chinese and I have the broccoli and chicken and like the egg drop soup,
Yep.
and it's like clockwork. I know that I'm either going to gain or not lose.
Yeah.
And I have to remind myself, I know I ate the right things. I ate the right combination and I ate what is approved when I have Chinese, and I didn't overeat it. So in a couple of days, after all this sodium works out of my system, it'll come back down. But I finally had to come to a realization, because for a long time, I would just get so frustrated. And then it hit me. Anytime this happens, I've had Chinese. And it's like every time I have Chinese, that happens. And I love Chinese food, so I'm not going to give it up. But I've gotten to the point where now I understand what happens. I accept it. I wait a few days, and then it, like you said, goes back to low tide rather than high tide.
That's it. Yeah, it's even days of the week, I know when to weigh, when not to weigh if I'm mentally dealing with that. And yeah, I did lie to y'all just then. I didn't mean to. I did have eggs yesterday. I had eggs and then I had the seafood, but I still was under budget. So
Still not enough for 4 pounds.
the weight gain was simply water. That was all it was. No big deal. When you're doing this as a lifestyle, it's not a big deal because it's going to come off. Like my trend is getting lower and lower. Like I was yesterday morning, 183 pounds. So the trend's getting lower and lower every week. So my highs are getting low. That's what you watch for, if that makes sense. Are your highs getting lower every month and your lows getting lower every month? That's the trend to watch for, especially your highs. Are your highs during the week getting lower? Does that make sense? Because my weight fluctuates, but my highs getting lower and my lows getting lower. Anybody else?
Hey, Travis,
Hey, brother.
I had an idea about a belt. I know there's a lot going on right now, but later on, maybe. There was a time when we wore a belt that we'd enjoy, like a 36, 38, whatever, and we'd like to get back to that size belt,
Yep.
We could set that as a goal to reach your belt that you was happy with and be something for everybody could work toward, their own weight, their own belt,
I like that. I definitely like that. That's a good idea. Great non-scale victory too. Something to definitely keep on the radar. I like that. I'll never forget getting in a size 32 pant and it was loose. You'd have thought I was a 8th grade cheerleader. Good idea, Will. Anybody else? Let's see, got a private one. Preparing for knee replacement. What supplements would you recommend? It's simple for me. Recommend Peak Performance. It's got your omega fish oils in it that you desperately need. Collagen and magnesium. Mellow out. That's what I would recommend. And a low and very much anti-inflammatory diet. You're going to have enough inflammation after the knee replacement. You don't need to be adding to the stress, if that makes sense. Everybody, I know it's just me talking, and most people can disagree, and I respect that. I just really believe everyone should be on peak performance. And then if their budget allows, collagen boost. Mellow out is a luxury. And berberine is a luxury, but those are my 4 go-tos. I used to do it right the opposite. And I know most people would disagree. I disagreed with myself years ago, but I flipped the script. I'm taking my stuff before I eat because I know how meaningful it's been to me. My blood works better. Everything's more on point. So that's my 4: peak performance, collagen boost, berberine, then mellow out is a luxury.
What about the Advocare Spark? Has that come into play?
I still drink it every day. Yep. I drink strawberry and mango strawberry and grape spark every day. I love it. It's not so much a wellness product as it gives me a little mental focus, and it's budget friendly compared to other energy drinks, safer, more effective. It's a part of my arsenal. But when I'm talking about my longevity, health, wellness, brain health, joint health, gut health, I can't find anything that rivals peak performance. And then I can't find anything that rivals the collagen. Advocare has a marine collagen, but I believe in the grass-fed bovine collagen.
Because I just had all the surgery stuff. I also bought that vitamin C. That's from the wellness.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All of their stuff, that's going to be in your peak. But if you need extra vitamin C or only vitamin C, the difference maker there, if you're just looking for one word, there's many words, but one word: absorption. That's the difference.
I just started back taking, since I'm trying to get back on track, but I just started taking at night about three or 4 nights ago now. The collagen, mellow out, and I do also take the, what's it called? The one helps you relax, Rest Easy.
I take
So,
it.
yeah, so I do the Rest Easy, mellow out, collagen. But since I've kind of been under the weather and stuff and not sure where the headaches were coming from, I was adding the Activate C, the little drink packet at night. So I just kind of make it. I'm not good at drinking a lot of like flavored stuff at once. So I literally make it to where it's kind of stout, but then I just drink my bottle of water behind it so I can get that down, and water's easy. But then I get up and at night I'm doing the cleanse tablets too. And then I'm doing the fiber in the morning with my Zip Slim. So I started that yesterday with the Zip Slim and all of that. But, I told you I'm really trying to get back on track. But, and then that's what I was going to ask you. I do take Peak Performance. So the Activate C is just kind of an added bonus at night, I guess, right?
Yeah, and it's got several other independent ingredients that help with hormone optimization. So it's a good product. and I take a lot of those products. I quit talking about them because it sounded, people are like, I can't afford to do that. If I looked in their cabinet, I'd show them that they could. But there's nothing wrong with taking that. And I like the flavor profile. I use it maybe every other day. Another thing that you can do at night or before sleep, like my sleep cycle's messed up because some nights I can go to bed, other nights I'm on third shift. So I need to be able to get as much deep sleep as I can in a limited time. And I measure my sleep many nights with a Whoop strap. The cocktail that I so enjoy, you could make tea the way, you know, with one of those, what do you call those, the press, cold press or something, French press. But I just use a Keurig, and I've got a couple of teas that I like during the day, black tea. At night, there's a probiotic lemon tea, and I'll mix in the magnesium and take Rest Easy, sleep like a log. So
Yeah, I will say that was going to add. I wake up quite easily, and I don't sleep well anyway. And I do have a Whoop strap, which is, I had gotten back a couple of years ago by you talking about it. Love it. I love it. It tells me so much, but I will tell you, since I started taking the mellow out and all of those things, I have slept so much better. I feel like I rested, instead of just waking up like, goodness, did I get any recovery? And it's been great. And I'm like, why did I stop doing that? Even though I wasn't eating the way I needed to, I should have just kept doing that,
Yeah. Yeah. And you just said it, you just nailed it. Somehow we all start thinking we don't matter, and we stop the consistency of it. And if we could just be consistent on self-care, it makes all the difference in the world. So I'm glad you're back at it. And a lot of people reject the wellness company because it is a shopping club, but you don't have to buy every month. You just don't get the discounts if you don't. And I buy every month, so it makes sense for me to be a member if there's people here that are considering it.
Yeah, great idea. I'll tell you, can't go wrong. I have Peak on my rotate. That's what I get monthly. I also I get Florify. I give to my grandkids because it's in my Peak. It is so good for them. They do so much better. If you have young kids, for whatever reason, I'm sure the diet, they all kind of struggle with constipation. Yeah. And I keep them on that for, at least help their gut out when they're here, and I send it home. But I've put my kids on several things for them and the grandkids, but it's a great company. And like everything I just mentioned, I have the fiber wise, I have all those things. But really, I'm going to tell you, my son has struggled with sleep. And this is a great testimony. He used to be, under the care of a doctor and prescribed many things for anxiety, for sleep, etc. I gave him a couple of Rest Easy, and I said, look, I bought these for you and the Mellow Out, but I want you to just at least try this Rest Easy tonight. And the next is about 2 days later before I seen him, and he said, Mom, what was that you gave me? That just like knocked me out or something. I couldn't even stay awake. And I said, it's all natural, so yeah, I just really, it works well, really well, but I would say to anybody, it's worth it. Like you said, I could spend, and I have and do spend way more in junk and other unnecessary things than I spend at the wellness company by far.
Amen. It's just, you could build a new lifestyle around specific products and then add some whole foods and half your current grocery budget, including supplements. So I'm proud that you helped me out there in front of everybody. Good job. Lisa asked, what is the difference between Mellow Out and Rest Easy? Mellow Out is a high absorption magnesium, great to combat anxiety while you're awake, great to relax the mind before sleep, And if you're someone who is has under a lot of physical demands, it can help alleviate cramping, etc. So that's magnesium.
And let me add here, Travis, because this is another thing that kind of said, oh, Kim, you have magnesium in your cabinet. I was seeing when I was looking into my headaches, many of the population are deficient in magnesium and just aren't aware. And that does play a huge role in headaches. So that's another thing. And I've been doing very well with the headaches for several days, now.
Glory to God. Yeah, we just did a class in Faithfully Fit. I think Terry was there where we talked about if you're having certain cravings, what you're deficient in. And one of them was magnesium. Rest Easy is melatonin, L-theanine, and a couple of other ingredients that help with sleep, deeper sleep. It's more of a sleep product than magnesium is. But when you combine the two, you have the relaxation from the magnesium, and then you have the sleep aids in the Rest Easy. So when you combine those together, when I drink my tea before sleep, I have a tablet of Rest Easy, that I'm getting some good synergistic ingredients to help with deeper sleep. Yeah, Gina, you'll like Rest Easy. It's more of a targeted sleep product than the Mellow Out. What is the probiotic tea? It's one of them I got off Amazon that's no calories. It was a lemon pre and probiotic tea. I don't remember the brand. I just get whatever's there that's 0 calorie. I'm just using the tea as a base. And what I like is the magnesium's already a faint flavor and the teas are faint. So putting them together, I don't really need to add any crazy sweetener or anything. It's just a very faint, mild, hot, soothing tea with that magnesium in it. Any of them that are 15 calories or less work. Be careful, some of those teas are high caffeine. Great during the day, a good yin yang, if you're into that, where you have the caffeine with the magnesium, it settles you down but keeps you going. But I don't want to do a caffeinated tea before sleep necessarily. Diane Malone looks like she's getting some exercise over there. Anybody else? All right. Well, I hope you got something out of the class today. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody, thank you, Terry, for singing. Who wants to close us out with a word of prayer? Lisa, were you able to put that link for the egg and soup challenges? I didn't. Yeah, you did. No, I don't see it. Yeah, you did. There it is. If y'all will scroll up, Rise and Rebuild Eggalicious and Super Strength challenges, there's that link. If you scroll up, those will be a lot of fun. All right, y'all. We'll close out in prayer. Appreciate you. Love you. I hope you have a safe and beautiful Saturday. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank y'all. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.